Sports presents Candlepin Stars and Stripes, featuring the best Candlepin bowlers from all over New England. And now in our 15th season, your hosts for Candlepin Stars and Strikes, Dick Lutz and Mike Moore.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. It is week 4 of our mixed doubles competition, which means it's championship match time, and it's number 1 against number 2 seed.
And what a shock. The Morgans are back, ladies and gentlemen, going head-to-head with their respective female partners, and it's everything this crowd had hoped it would be.
Great finish last week as our second-seeded team of Mike Morgan and Deb Desrocher defeated the fourth-seeded team of Joe Tavernese and Debbie Scannell, coming from behind in the third string, setting up this afternoon's championship match. Let's meet our championship participants. First, our second-seeded team from Lynn, Massachusetts, Mike Morgan, and his partner Deb Desrocher from Methuen.
That's right, they were winners last week. Deb Desrocher with an average of 119. High single is 194, her triple 454, and Deb's home bowling center is the Park Place in Wyndham. Now, Mike Morgan here last week, average 128, high single 212, bowled that a couple of months ago. High triple at 474, and he bowls out of the Metro Bowl in Peabody, Mass.
And they'll take on the top-seeded team of brother Tom Morgan from Revere and Londonderry's Peggy Tosi.
And we'll have our first look at Peggy and Tom right here on the monitor. Peggy's average at 119, high single 175, triple 425. She also bowls at Park Place in Wyndham. Tom Morgan out of Revere, average 129, 192 high single, triple at 490. He also bowls at the Metro Bowl in Peabody, Mass.
$875 in the triple strike jackpot. The bonus ball contest is up to $60, and we're ready to go with our championship match as the mixed doubles competition comes to a conclusion here this afternoon. Don't go away. We're getting right to it as Candlepin Stars and Strikes continues from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on WNDS TV. We'll be right back. Don't you dare go away.
Do you ever worry about mortgage rates going up? Not these homeowners, because their rates are going to go down. They've got the Back on Track plan from the Money Store. There's no other home equity loan quite like it. You make payments on time and your rates go down, year after year, 4 years in a row. So call the Money Store and get back on track. While other homeowners pay more and more, you could be paying less and less. Only at the Money Store. The Money Store, 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Toyota's Great Summer Sales Event, where you could get a Tacoma 4x4, get cash back, and save up to $3,400. Or you could lease a Tacoma now for only $199 a month. And it's a great time to make your best deal in a Tundra, Toyota's all-new full-size 4-door V8 pickup. Now's the time to see your New England Toyota dealer.
It's a great time for driving a new Toyota, and here comes the one.
But hurry, the Great Summer Sales Event ends August 2nd.
Park is the one for family fun.
Excitement out for the fun. Whalum Park, it's for everyone.
Meet meteorologist Al Caprillion and Bart Simpson on Saturday, July 31st from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Come by the WNDS van for free gifts and autographs from Al. That's Saturday the 31st at Whalum.
Great for the family, it's one of a kind. Whalum Park, for a whale of a time.
We are ready to go with our championship match from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin, and it'll be Deb Desrocher ready to begin and to get us underway as she is teamed with Mike Morgan to take on the top-seeded team of Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan. And if the crowd is into it as they were at the end of the match last week, this will be some match as Deb Desrocher starts off with a spare. Tom Morgan finished the match last week with Mike Morgan with a spare and a strike, and then a spare inside the strike. To come from behind.
And it's what he needed to do to pull out a victory.
And it was really exciting.
Oh, the crowd went nuts. .136 being missed by Mr. Desrocher.
27 to start out in the first two boxes for Deb Desrocher. Now a look at lefty Peggy Tosi. Peggy averages 119, a high single 175, high triple 425, a 614 in the roll-off to earn the top seeding. Bowls out of Park Place in Wyndham. Been bowling 30 years. And she works as a manager for Bell Atlantic in Manchester. And there's the spare for Peggy Tosi.
And at 6:14, that would have tied her for 5th place in the men's qualifying. So between she and her partner Tom Morgan, they truly blew the field away by 160 pins. 13:53 to the next qualifier at 11:93.
Right in the pocket. 9 in the spare. She was right in the pocket. Of course, the 1-2 pocket is the primary pocket for the left-handed bowler. And that'll be a spare double mark for Peggy Tosi starting out in the first string of our championship match. Now we look at Mike Morgan.
And those two spares put a big smile on the face of her partner Tom Morgan. And we'll see him in just a moment. This is his brother Mike.
Mike with a 128 average starts out with a pocket shot. A high single 212, as Mike said in the open. Doing that just a couple of months ago at the Vacationland Bowling Center in Saco, Maine. It was done in November. High triple 474, 631 in the roll-off. Missing the spare. Been on TV between Channel 50 and the old Channel 5 show nearly 60 times over the years, and he has to settle for a 10 box. Works at GE in Lynn, preparing engines for assembly. Been married to Kathleen for 15 years. They have a son, Mike. His hobbies include golf, softball, and all athletic activities.
And the Morgan's mother is sitting up front on the bowler's bench, just off to the side.
Rooting for both of them to win, which is not easy.
Imagine the pride, though, sitting there, and both your sons, successful professional bowlers, fine gentlemen, good family men, and the rest of the world gets to share them with her.
9 box from Mike, 46 through 4 for Desrocher and Morgan. Now Tom Morgan steps to lane 34. And the bio on Tom reads like this: a high single of 192, high triple 490. Carries an average of 129. Bowling out of Metro Bowl in Peabody for 35 years. On TV more than 60 times, like brother Mike. A machinist at GE in Lynn for 18 years. He and his wife Linda have 2 children, Jamie 15 and Kelly 13. Tom starts out with a 9 box after putting a 5 in the spare.
And it looks as though the women are going to carry the men in the early going here.
There's Tom Morgan answering with a strike. Three marks and 4 boxes for the team of Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan. And now here's Deb Desrocher. Right on the head pin, but right through the head pin. Tries to break up the split.
2, 3, 4, and the 7.
Deb works in customer service at Park Place Lanes in Wyndham. She's been bowling for 21 years with Park Place, naturally her home lane. Tries to slide it over, does a nice job, but the 2-pin still stands. And a 10 box for Deb Desrocher. Deb's husband, Buddy, works as a crew chief for the Bush North team in auto racing circles. For those of you familiar with NASCAR and all of the racing that goes on during the course of the year.
Just a little bit thin, but a nice pocket hit And the 6 and the 9 are there with some wood to help out.
And she and Buddy have a son, Matthew, who is 8 years old. And she won the mixed doubles on WNBS in 1995 with Paul St. Pierre, who we saw last week, 2 weeks ago. And that'll be a 9-box. 65 through 6 for Desrocher and Morgan. Now Peggy Tosi is working to fill Tom Morgan's strike. $875 in the triple strike jackpot. She's right on the head pin.
But no damage. As it's a strike, he'll take the second ball on the fill. Probably 7.
It's going to be a 7-box for Peggy Tosi. Box to box, a 9-pin lead for Tom and Peggy over Mike and Deb. Part of Peggy's bio is that she won the WNDS mixed doubles with Jack Sanick a few years back. And her team won the ladies team event this year at the Canadian Invitational Tournament with Deb Desrocher also on the team.
Oh.
How did that do that?
I'm told that a lot of people mispronounce her name. It's Tosi, of course, known to some of her close friends as Magatasi. But it's Peg Tosi to you and me. As I check over things, I believe we've had a Debbie on this broadcast every week of our 4-week ladder. Desrocher, Regan, and Scannell.
This is Mike Morgan right in the pocket, leaving himself a spare opportunity here. The key being the head pin has to take the 2-pin. Missed it. Just shot it past it. 10-box and 75 through 7 for Desrocher and Morgan.
Of course, the brothers Morgan faced each other, Dick, about, I'm thinking 6-7 weeks ago. Tommy beat his younger brother for the first time in their head-to-head matches on TV. So he's got a chance to do it again with a little help from his partner.
Mike put it right through the head pin that time. Take the 3 on the left. Nine-box.
Crowd just waiting for something to cheer about. There's only been 4 marks between our 4 bowlers so far. This man had one of them, a strike.
There's Tom Morgan's in the pocket that time.
Some very helpful wood right in the middle of the diamond.
That'll do it for Tom Morgan as he explodes that spare off the lane. No doubt about that one. Peggy and Tom will open a slight lead here in the first string. Well, slight is the operative word. 10-pin lead, box to box.
Oh, look at this. Like dominoes. Well, except the final one. The 3-pin.
An 11-pin lead for Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan over Deb Desrocher and Mike Morgan. 2 boxes remain in the first string. They continue to fall for Deb Desrocher. Now you've got a maze of pins in front of that 10-pin. And
not a gimme.
Problematic with the lay of the land on the way to that 10-pin. Deb is looking it over. You're going to have a double ricochet here, and you got to hope that the final ricochet is into the pin. Just no way around the ricochet. 1, 2, and it didn't take it.
Took out 2 of the 3 pins, as you said, and it was a double ricochet.
It'll be a 10 box.
Tough break. Deb Desrocher, the owner of 1 Pro Tour victory, rated number 9 in the women's division in the WCBC last year.
And she strikes in the 10th frame. Watch it again. Here it comes. Great mixing action at the end of the shot. The 10-pin reluctantly falls.
The last 4 pins to go down were the 4, 6, 7, and 10.
Now filling the strike. They're at 110 right now. $113 first string for Deb Desrocher and Mike Morgan.
And that's just 1 pin less than last week's first game for them at 114.
Now Peggy Tosi. High single 175, as you see. There it is, the spare for Peggy Tosi. She has that left to right hook and has terrific control.
Tell you what, she has a nice touch, and when you use a little bit less velocity than, say, the men do, I think the pins tend to stay on the lane at times and mix a little bit more on certain kinds of hits. And it worked for her right there.
That one goes past the head pin. She'll put 6 in the spare.
And they'll win the first game, Morgan and Tosi.
Missing the head pin so far. Here it comes back at it, but it's not going to get there. She is at 120 right now. 121 first string for the team of Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan. An 8-pin lead over Mike Morgan and Deb Desrocher as we head to the middle string of our championship match on this mixed doubles tournament on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. We'll be right back.
27th annual Christmas and July sale at Darrell's Music Hall. Now until the end of the month, you'll find holiday savings on all of our top quality pianos and organs. Names like Yamaha, Kohler & Campbell, and Samick. We have a huge selection, and at these prices, you can't afford to miss this sale. If you've been thinking about buying a new piano or organ, now is the time. Get to one of Darrell's 3 convenient locations in Nashua, Concord, or Portsmouth. Christmas in July won't last long, so get to Darrell's Music Hall now.
Swings and Things in Kingston, New Hampshire has what you need for backyard fun in the sun. Swings for the young and swings for adults. Swings and Things has gazebos, rose arbors, and Amish-made pressure-treated lawn furniture. We can make your outdoor activities more enjoyable. Whether it's a wood shed for storage or a lawn decoration, Swings and Things is the place to go for swings and things. We are just over the Plastow border in Kingston, New Hampshire on Route 125. Swings and Things for swings and things.
The sun is blazing and the summer gets hot. Water Country's a very cool spot. There's no better place to feel and be young. Water Country, have some fun. So get into riding and sliding and splashing. Feel the excitement, climb on the action. Having a good time under the sun. Water Country, have some fun.
Primary 2000 stops on the presidential primary trail. Roby's Country Store in Hooksett opened its doors back in the 1800s, and over the years it earned its spot on the primary trail.
Jimmy Carter actually started his campaign in New Hampshire right here in this store. And he says, good morning, Mr. Roby. He says, I'm Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president of the United States. And just automatically, I turned around quick, and I said, Jimmy who?
WNDS in the state of New Hampshire, hoping to preserve the New Hampshire presidential primary.
Ready to go, second string of our championship match. Mixed doubles. It's Tom Morgan and Peggy Tosi, with an 8-pin lead going into the second string. 121 to 113, the count after the first string of play. And Tom Morgan looks at a possible spare here, playing the ricochet and not getting it to go.
Don't know if that's what he really wanted to hit or not. I'm going to guess it is, but the one to the left maybe would have helped him out a little more for a 10 box. Tom Morgan finishing 6th in the WCBC tournament in November that his brother Mike won. So it was Morgan's 1 and 6. Very competitive.
In the pocket that time, but the piece of wood out front again is one that
angled.
Could be difficult. I might try to get past it. Whoa, he didn't do it.
Capped it directly. And this should go easily.
2 10 boxes to start out for Tom Morgan in the second string.
Next week we'll resume men's singles action, resuming our Tournament of Champions quest. And our first 3 bowlers seeded from top to bottom: Jack Ray, Don Richmond, and Gary Santora. Those are men you won't see till April when the Tournament of Champions begins its roughly month-and-a-half run.
Now here's some wood spread all over the deck that makes this shot. Well, now the wood's moving around. I was going to say it looked like it was impossible to miss the way the wood is angled.
That's a dangerous statement to make in this game.
I know. Well, that piece of wood out front is what really hurts, but I think this is a very makeable shot looking at the angles of the wood.
But you would like to have that one out of the way from the front and go for the V of the 2 right behind it.
Not going to take it.
He tried to get into that V, but was just not there. 10-pin stands.
And Chris Bovair will move down to remove the ball from the gutter area.
Of course, we can't show Chris on TV because then he'd want too much money. So
Union scale.
Union scale. We could start inviting him to join us at the Kahala, perhaps, as payment for his fine work.
Which reminds me, it's time to tell you about the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge, right next door to Lita Lane's in Nashua, New Hampshire, where they have a magnificent lunch buffet. And that'll be a 9-box for Mike Morgan to start out. Monday through Saturday, 11:45 to 2 p.m. The lunch buffet at the Kahala is just $5.95, and it is terrific. I don't know, 10, 12 different items on the buffet every time, including soup and dessert. And you can go back as often as you like. And they have a dinner buffet on Thursday from 5 to 8 and Sunday from 12 noon to 8 p.m. as well. And that's just $8.95. It's right next door to Lita Lane. So if you're coming down to go bowling or to watch bowling, we would encourage you to stop by the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge right next door to Lita Lane's on Route 101A in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's Amherst Street. It's 350 Amherst Street, to be specific. If you'd like to call in your order to go, the phone number is 889-5200, 889-5200, area 603. Open every day at 11:30 a.m. for terrific Chinese and Polynesian cuisine. Stop by the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge right next door to Lita Lane's in Nashua, New Hampshire.
And we'd never lied to you. We love the food.
No, it's a great, a great part of our experience every time we come down to tape at Lita Lane.
And a lot of the fans out of the gallery join us.
It's fun.
It's a big happy party for a good hour or so. So we take a break midway through the daily taping session.
You know what I missed today? I didn't get a fortune cookie. I don't know what my fortune is.
I don't know that they brought us any. But I noticed you did have some Cherry's Jubilee or something there with your chicken fingers. You were a happy man today. I was watching you.
$9 for Peggy Tosi.
You didn't have any egg foo young this week, right?
No, I did not.
I noticed you dig into that egg foo young with reckless abandon.
Once in a while. No, I'm not big on egg foo young.
Oh.
Peggy's trying to help those pins. A little body English. She started to lean. The 1-7-10 with some wood.
Look at that.
Great shot by Peggy Tosi. The 1, the 7, and the 10 with the wood. Done perfectly. The wood helped, but I'm not even sure that it
I think she needed
would have
it.
gone without it.
That one is not as easy as it looks either.
Deb puts a 7 in the spare. And will she get it to go? She will not. $10. We're missing a pin on this set. We're going to have to reset the pins on lane 33.
10 pin is
as
missing.
the 10 pin didn't come down.
So we'll get a fresh set and see if they're all there. Yep.
There they are.
I don't see that happen too often. Pin boy perhaps fell asleep as he was loading the rack. Takes out 3, half Worcester and one of the other back pins. Ooh.
Now works on the other side. Tosi and Morgan will have the lead when we go to the break. It's an 8-box. For Deb Desrocher, we'll take the break with the lead, enjoyed by Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan over Mike Morgan and Deb Desrocher. As we near the halfway point of the match in this championship match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNBS TV, we'll be right back.
Style, performance, and service. These are just some of the family values at the Thompson family of dealerships. With not 1, not 2, but 3 big lots in one convenient location. You get more cars, more choice, and more value for your money. So if you're looking for a new or used car and you want the best range and service in New England, come to Nashua Mitsubishi, Nashua Hyundai, and McMulkin Chevrolet. The Thompson family of dealerships at Nashua. Park is the one for family fun.
Excitement out for the fun. Whalen Park, it's for everyone.
We spent the entire day riding the rides instead of waiting in long lines.
Hassle-free family fun.
Les Agamabos from Boston.
Great for the family, it's one of a kind. Whalen Park, for a whale of a time.
If you want your car to pass its daily test, come to a place with a track record of great service, low prices, and nationwide warranties. Come to Meineke.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
Get to the bottom of your muffler problem. Save big during the muffler sale at Meineke.
For a limited time, get 25% off lifetime mufflers at Meineke. At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
Oh, I can't look. Come on, Dad! Uh-oh. You know what this means? Burgers at Friendly's.
Swing by Friendly's for our juicier, tastier Big Beef burgers. Like the new barbecue bacon cheeseburger, built with crispy bacon, cheddar cheese, and tangy barbecue sauce. Oh, yeah.
Dad, you're crowding the plate.
Now get an Oreo soft serve sundae for only 99 cents with any Big Beef burger at Friendly's.
Fifth frame, second string, Tom Morgan. Steps to lane 34 at Leda Lanes in Nashua. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. Our entire WNDS TV 50 crew here. As Tom Morgan puts it right in the pocket. Doesn't have much to show for it, does he?
Not even any helpful wood. 4 in the 10, and that was a beautiful hit.
Puts 8 in the spare that Peggy Tosi had put on the board. And the wood sitting between the 4 and the 10.
You know, we saw Tom Morgan more than any other bowler last season, 7 appearances, and so far this year, this is at least 3 times, and maybe more. So he may be our most watched bowler again by the time it's all said and done, because he has not qualified for the Tournament of Champions, so there's a pretty good possibility we'll see him back again to try to make it in.
Tom took a shot at sliding that piece of wood over. Couldn't get it to go. Takes a 10 box. 57.5 for Tosi and Tom. Right in the pocket again. And
look at that.
Oh, he breaks up the split this time. Almost had the reverse split. He had the 4-7 the last time. That was almost the 6-10. Vice versa.
Takes a high five from younger brother Mike.
That is a spare in the 6th frame for Tom Morgan. Now Mike Morgan steps to the line.
That was the 4 horsemen and the 8-pin in the back. The horseman on the right side. Oh boy.
Missed the head pin, which is key. $7. 51.5 for Mike and Deb Desrocher. Well, the wood will be helpful. How helpful, I'm not sure. Just that helpful.
Get it flush. What a nice shot that was.
Spare in the 6th for Mike, matching Tom's mark in the 6th frame. Now Peggy Tosi. A 14-pin lead in the match for Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan. Both teams working on spares in the 6th. Peggy just missed the head pin.
Kind of pulled her arm across her body and yanked the ball to the right-hand side, leaving the 4 horsemen left side.
Got a shot at it. She sure does.
Beautifully done.
2 marks in a row for Peggy Tosi. Chance at some bonus money. We haven't given away any bonus money in this match yet. $50 for 3 consecutive marks. $20 for each mark after that. The triple strike jackpot has $875.
Pulling the ball.
Worcester.
Pulling the ball again to the right-hand side as she did last time, but not nearly as good of pinfall. And it's too bad on the spare.
You would think at the angle that that ball is coming to that it would be difficult to punch
exactly
2 pins straight through, but it still does it.
Stepping back now to have another look as the pin still rolls on the deck. Borders on being out of play. Peg Tosi is the owner of 1 Pro Tour victory, the WCBC.
Missed the head pin. That's a 7 box for Peggy Tosi and a 92 through 8 for Tom Morgan and Peggy Tosi. Now here's Deb Desrocher. Right in the pocket. Breaks up the split. Puts 9 in the spare and leaves another spare opportunity.
What a nice ball that was. Not quite enough energy to take out the 10, but everything else. Had a great fill on there. 6 frames spare.
And the wood is in really good position.
Yeah, she could miss it by a lot.
And still get the deflection.
And still get it. But she could also go right in between them. I think there's enough space.
Takes it by itself.
The bowlers really prefer to do it that way when they can. Wood is usually the second option of choice. I like to take it directly if possible. Of course, I speak for them, not for myself. Use the wood whenever possible.
Again in the pocket, but boy, not much to show for it. 5 pins still stand. Wood in the middle. The wood is good.
Wood is very helpful here. She's got the diamond plus the 5. I'm sorry, plus the 9.
The wood is right there. She hits that head pin. Ooh, it took it straight through.
That was about the only way to miss it, by hitting the object pin, hitting it straight on. Hit it either side of center, and you should have it.
9 bucks, no bonus money.
What a close match this is going into the third and final game.
6 pins separate the two teams. Tosi and Tom Morgan in the lead. Tom put it in the pocket, the 5 pin. Still shaking. Oh. The 5 pin still standing.
99 out of 100 times you'll come back and you'll make it on that third ball.
102 through 9.
That is the, I think it's a 5 pin, isn't it? Or is it the 6 pin?
That's
The 4 pin, rather.
The 4 pin moved over in front of the 7 pin.
And had it been in position, it may have had a crack at it.
Just might have. That's the 4-7 still standing, believe it or not. And the 7 still stands. A 1-11. Second string for Tom Morgan and Peggy Tosi. Now Mike Morgan to finish the second string. The 7 pin remains.
I don't think we've given away any bonus money this week, have we, Dick?
Nope, not yet.
I think we had some just about every other, week up to today. No big scoring fireworks yet.
He missed the spare. He kept it on the lane, but missed it to the left side of the pin, which is not an easy thing to do. He missed it to the right side that time, a 9 box. So both brothers missed spares in the 9th frame that they'd like to have back.
Very un-Morgan-like.
That's going to be a spread eagle right through the middle. Well, Tom and Peggy Tosi will take the lead into the third string of about 10 pins, a little less than 10 pins perhaps, depending on what Mike does with this ball. We'll take a 9 box, finish with a 112. A 7-pin lead for Tom Morgan and Peggy Tosi going into the third and final game of our championship match of this mixed doubles tournament on Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire from WNDS TV. We're back with the third string right after this.
Toyota's Great Summer Sales Event, where you can drive a new Toyota Camry, America's best-selling.
A few. The eyes and the ears of the nation are tuned into WNDS News Now. WNDS News Now, weeknights at 7 and 10 only on WNDS. Watched in more homes than any other New Hampshire station.
Here we go to the third string with just 7 pins separating our teams, with the team of Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan leading the team of Mike Morgan and Deb Desrocher in this championship match of our 4-week mixed doubles competition. $1,000 to the winning team, $500 to the losing team, and here's Mike Morgan to bowl. A very tight match going into the final string.
Oh!
You don't come much closer than that.
You may have noticed the men are leading off the third and final string, which is, of course, the team's option to make that decision. And both Tom and Mike will be bowling out in the 10th frames. They will have their final shots at one another. And it'll probably come down to the last 2 frames, Dick, at least the way things look so far.
And if it stays close here, it may move out into the parking lot afterwards.
Well, we haven't seen that happen before, but you never know.
With brothers as competitive as these guys
Yeah.
are.
Oh. I'd love to hear stories about when they grew up.
Tough shot. That time the wood turned against Michael, and he has to settle for a 10 box. 2 10s to start out. Now Tom Morgan, his team has the lead. Tom and Peggy were the #1 seeded team. Mike and Deb were the #2 seeded team. Seed held true to form to this championship match.
You want to hit this right on the stripe, if you can.
He'll take the spare to start out. In our first match 3 weeks ago, it was Jim Sullivan and Lynn Perrin, the 5th seed, losing to Joe Tavernese and Debbie Scannell, the 4th seed. The following week, Tavernese and Scannell eliminated 3rd seeded Paul St. Pierre and Deb Regan. And then it was Mike Morgan and Deb Desrocher ousting Tavernese and Scannell, setting up the championship match. And you saw the Tom Morgan strike for 2 marks in a row.
And you saw the old 4-pin almost didn't go down.
So now the pressure is really on as the team of Tosi and Morgan, with the lead, open the 3rd string with a spare and a strike. $8 for Deb Desrocher.
Hope you'll join us next week for the start of our 4th ladder on our way to the Tournament of Champions coming up this spring. Jack Ray, Don Richmond, and Gary Santora already seated and ready to go when things get underway in April. $1,000 to our winning team today, $500 divided between the runners-up.
At the 4 and the 10, still standing, Mike Morgan came off the bench to whisper something to Deb Desrocher about playing the wood in this situation, and here we go. Now the 4-pin moved and finally falls, but the 10 is still standing. And a 10 box for Deb Desrocher. Now here's Peggy Tosi, looking for some bonus money. We've not given any bonus money away in this match yet. And she's working on 2 marks, a spare and a strike. Takes a half Worcester with still another ball to fill the strike.
Triple strike jackpot at $875. We thought we were going to give it away 3 weeks ago.
Peggy puts 5 in the strike.
Joe Tavernese and Deb Scannell gave it a good shot with a double and a 9.
$8 for Peggy Tosi. Tosi and Tom lead by 12 pins plus whatever Peggy gets in this box.
Well, she keeps going too far to the right. She started out the first game hitting right near that 1-2 pocket for a left-hander, but has since pulled the ball too far to the right on many occasions.
Overcompensating a little bit that time. So as we go to the break, it'll be Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan with the lead over Deb Desrocher and Mike Morgan. And it's a 10 box, and the lead is 22 pins with 6 boxes to go in our championship match as Candlepin Stars and Strikes continues from Leda Lanes in Nashua on WNDS TV.
Trike Shop Northeast. Get a trike or trike conversion for your motorcycle that gives you better handling, a larger fuel tank for longer range, and storage for luggage and valuables. An Ultimate Goldwing with independent rear suspension has better cornering and a luxury ride. Conversions for the Honda Valkyrie and Harley Davidson are now available. If you have a disability, 3 wheels mean you don't ever have to pick up a heavy bike. Experience the excitement of a trike. If you love to ride, come and see why trikes are becoming the rage at the Trike Shop Northeast, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire.
You know, I just wanted to look normal. I didn't want to stand out for any reason, and definitely not because of hair loss.
If you're a woman with thinning hair or hair loss, now there is an answer. Call the toll-free number on your screen now for free information on the hair systems for women that can change the way you feel about yourself.
Female pattern baldness runs in my family. I got so bad where I didn't want to even go out of the house.
I felt like I was the only person in the world that had this problem. And lo and behold, I'm not.
I had tried other things in the past, and nothing was as good as what I have now. This is the best.
Now there are permanent, natural-looking solutions that can give you beautiful hair.
This feels like my own hair. Just exactly like my own hair.
I feel like a beautiful woman today.
And you can too. By calling New England Associates, you can receive free information on hair systems for women.
Meet the new pilots this year on Pensacola Wings of Gold.
My name is Butch Barnes. Got my call sign Burner because I smoked everybody and anything that moved.
Tucker Henry III, sir. I'm a graduate of Phillips Exeter and the Naval Academy.
Alexandra Jensen, sir. My call sign is Ice.
Executive Officer Major MacArthur Lewis, Jr. Call sign Hammer.
James Brolin is their commander.
That's good officer material.
On the all-new Pensacola Wings of Gold.
Fridays at 9 on WNDS.
Mike Morgan ready to bowl in the 5th box of the 3rd string. His team trails by 22 pins. And he's right in the pocket, and he leaves the 5 and the 10.
All right, Mr. Lutz, how helpful is this wood?
You play the wood on the left side and hold your breath. He played on the right side.
He wasn't listening to you.
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. 9 box from Mike Morgan. That's a 47 half.
And now a single mark.
Morgan with no marks. Little thin hit that time, leaves the back row, the 7, the 8, and the 10. Which aerodynamically is impossible to do, but he did it anyway.
Yeah, that's about the only logical way to approach that one. So only 56 through 6 for Desrocher and Morgan. Now Tosi and Morgan on lane 34.
Very little about the game that is logical. There's Tom in the pocket. He leaves a spare opportunity with the 2 and the 5 still standing.
And the wood serving as a guide if it moves back, but it looks like they'll have a clear shot at it. No wood needed.
just does take the 5-pin. Slow motion, but it counts. He'll put a 7 in the spare.
Two in the 10 still there. As our top seeds in the qualifying round, Tom Morgan and Peg Tosi, continue to lead. Not a big margin, but we're getting very close to the end.
A 30-pin lead now for Tom Morgan and Peggy Tosi with just 4 boxes remaining. Deb Desrocher in the pocket, a little thin, but is that back pin going? Yeah, it is.
Wow. I saw it rocking, didn't think it was going to go. That only puts more pressure on you not to miss it when you get that kind of a break. Oh, too bad.
And it'll be a 9-box. They cannot afford to go without marks the rest of the way. They need to mark the rest of the way out. Pins dance around on these lanes. Yeah, she got the wood set up pretty well this time to make the shot. The key is hitting the 2-pin, or what used to be the 2-pin. Now is the 2.5. Well, she hit it, but didn't get it to slide over.
A little too thin. Could have hit it flush and probably made the shot. So the 10-pin remains. The time is running out for Desrocher and Morgan.
And that'll be a 10-box. I believe one mark here in the final 4 boxes for Tom and Peggy would nail the door closed. Peggy Tosi in the pocket that time.
That's the way she was throwing it early on until she started pulling it. Now she's back on the right side for a lefty. 310 still stands.
No, she missed the 3-pin, so she shot it by the object pin and missed the spare. '89 through 7.
So even without a mark, we're still at about a 30-pin advantage for Tosi and Morgan with 2 frames to go. Nearly out of reach, barring a miracle finish.
Peggy missed the head pin again. This time she has the 1 and the 7 with some wood.
$1,000 to our winner. They'll split it. $500 to the runners-up. And no bonus money today.
No.
Big surprise. There's still time, but not much.
Both teams have gone a little bit chilly here in the late stages. 9-box for Peggy Tosi. A 30-pin lead for Tom Morgan and Peggy Tosi with 2 boxes to go. It'll be Mike Morgan closing it out for the team of Mike Morgan and Deb Desrocher.
And this could be a second consecutive win of Tom over Mike, although it's a different format, of course.
Mike Morgan, tough spare leave here. Gave it a shot. Going to need a mark to get to 100. That'll be a 9-box and an 84 through 9. That'll just about do it.
Well, a triple strike would have given them 114, which would have been, what, 323? So they're out of it. Oops.
And a 7 box to finish with a 91 third string for Mike Morgan and Deb Desrocher. And the match is over as Peggy Tosi and Tom Morgan have won. We'll watch Tom throw in the 9th frame and see if he's got a triple strike opportunity. He does not. So we will take a break. We'll come back to say hello to our bowlers and award the prize money when we continue on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.